Well, it appears that we're good to go. Don't ask me what I did. I have no idea. Okay.
All right. Welcome everyone to the Monday, October 6, 2025 Florida Town Council meeting. We will start off by reading minutes of the previous meeting. We're approving the minutes.
So everything looks good to me in the minutes. There is one typo that I would like you to change before we sign them. But other than the one word typo, I'd like to move that we approve the minutes with the typo correction.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded that we approve the minutes with one typo correction. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, Commonwealth. Oh, you get to do that tonight too, huh?
Lucky me.
On the updates on the Division A and B wastewater projects.
Yes. I have a couple of things to present. I believe two requests for payment and one work change directive number 4. So I believe you guys have an update memo. I won't go through all of the stuff on here, but they've been very busy at the plant. Upcoming work, continue with framing, roof, electrical, and beginning work on the aeration tanks. So the aeration tanks need to be isolated. My understanding is when we went out to try to isolate those tanks, to drain them, to do the new work, the valves didn't work. So work change directive 4 involves putting in new valves to allow that tank to be isolated. This will be in a future change order, but right now it is just permission to proceed as such. Part of the reason this isn't a change order at this time, there is sufficient contingency that remains to cover this. My understanding right now is change orders can't be pushed through USDA because there's nobody there. So issuing a work directive gives them permission to proceed without waiting on that. Like I said, necessary to isolate those tanks to proceed with that work. So, and there is sufficient contingency funds remaining for it. So
you're saying that number 4 does not need approved tonight?
it does need approved tonight, so they can proceed with it. It will be included in a future change order.
Okay, I see.
Approving payments, just
Right.
for the work.
Yes, and we have the estimated price here. I'm pretty sure that won't change unless they find something unexpected.
Right.
So we're change directive 4, and then I also have pay request 10 from Patterson North, and payment to retain. This covers work performed in September.
Just go ahead and go through them. We'll do them.
Correct.
I don't know. You can do them however you want to. You want to go ahead and do them
Let's
individually?
do one at a time. Yeah,
Yeah. Let's start with the work change.
yeah, that's fine.
Make a motion to approve the work change directive 4.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion to approve the work change directive number 4 for $13,315. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Great, and then pay app number 10, including retainage, $1,328,147.02. And I don't know, Pam, if you have all the forms you need to
I do,
submit this.
yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
USDA should have somebody on staff to approve payments.
Mhm.
They can't approve any changes to anything. So we can go ahead and get this submitted. Hopefully it'll get paid. If not, whenever the government comes back alive, they'll approve it.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve pay application number 10 for $1,328,147.02.
I'll second.
okay, moved and seconded to approve payment number 10. Any discussion, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that motion carries.
So that puts them at 48% complete, so we're close to halfway.
We're over halfway.
Great. And they're also on track for substantial completion. April 1st, looks like. So, Division B, I believe last month they requested substantial completion. The pay request I have, pay app number 7, covers work done apparently in the 8 days between the end of August and the date they requested substantial completion. So this is contractual work that they performed before substantial completion, I'm told. It does not include foot repair work because they submitted on it, we didn't have the information, we sent it back, and then they didn't submit on it this time, so it didn't get in here. So there will be at least one more pay request by them. Darren and Nick are still reviewing timing and work remaining and determining if there's any contractual damages or anything that need to be considered. As far as I know, I believe all work is done except the railroad crossing and the work at the park. And those are both change order items. So I believe also the contractual work has been done. I do not have a date on either of those. I believe the railroad insurance information is back at the railroad company, so we're waiting on their approval. Cooley should be performing as a sub one of those two items. I think the work at the park. So we're just waiting on their schedule, I guess, for that.
All right,
I'll make a motion to approve pay app number 7 for $33,748.99.
Second.
and moved and seconded, payout number 7, discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Would you like me to mention the water, or do I wait until later? Because I know this was listed as wastewater on the.
Go ahead.
So the final thing I brought tonight is Commonwealth's contract for design, bidding, and construction engineering and inspection for the water service line replacement using the IFA SRF grant money. And this is in direct response to the EPA's lead copper rule updates that require all the lead and galvanized water service lines get replaced. So the town has done a lot of work already to identify those lines, and this is the next step, which IFA has offered the town grant money to do this work.
So does anybody have any questions about that? So does everybody kind of know what's going on with that? I mean, I know the guys that work for the town do. You know, basically we're replacing, did you cover that already?
Lead and galvanized lines.
I didn't hear what you said because I was saying something to Pam, I'm sorry.
Sorry. EPA has mandated that the town take responsibility for replacing lead and galvanized water service lines, both on their town side and on the private resident side or private ownership side. So because of that, the state, the town has submitted and received grant money from the state to do this work. So now that we have this money, the town's moving forward with the design and construction of this project to get these lines replaced to hopefully help.
And it sounds like we're hoping that the grant money will cover all of it,
Yes.
that we shouldn't have to have anything come out of the town's pocket.
Yep, the town got grant money last year to do investigation work and identify 88 services in town are eligible, either on one side or both sides of the line, private or town-owned side. And those residents will be contacted to participate in this. If somebody refuses to participate, they'll have to be logged, and the town's required to send annual notices to people who have these lines until they're replaced. The town's required to list anybody who has these lines on a database that's publicly accessible. So now that there's grant money out there, it's a really great opportunity for people to get these lines replaced for free.
So does it, okay, so it pays for the private side?
Yes, it does.
That's nice.
The state has these funds for another year, and then they are out of money or the funding runs out after next year. So it's a really great opportunity to jump on this now and get this taken care of.
Yeah, because we have the grant now for, I think 1.8 million roughly. And so we get on this now and get through and then identify that if we may need some more money, we could go back and ask for more.
You know, or best case, we get them all replaced and then you're done
Yes.
and you don't have to send the notices out and you don't have to, mess around with trying to contact people and water lines.
Okay,
Was that in reference to when Future X came through and dug everybody's front yards up and filled them back up with sand?
that was what the first grant paid for, is the inspection of all that stuff, but that's what they were doing.
Whatever happened with the backfilling the sand, was it dirt? I still have sand in my front yard.
I think our guys have gone around and replaced some of it with dirt if people complained.
Chris at Future X told me that sand the grass would grow back in the sand in 2 months. We did not
Not
know.
quickly. It
In
doesn't
2
quickly,
months,
does
we would
it?
never know they were there.
That's not true, is
I
it?
know, no, I talked to Chris a couple times about that.
I think it takes a little longer than that unless you add a little dirt to it and seed it.
Grass in the growing sand. We do.
Hopefully, with this project, yards get restored the way they were.
That's the plan.
That's the plan.
the way I read it.
Okay, we need a motion then if we want to approve Commonwealth's
Portion.
portion for the handling all the work.
Design, bidding, construction.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve Commonwealth's portion of the lead galvanized pipe replacement, so their engineering work and everything associated with that. Total of $369,000.
I'll second that.
Okay, moved and seconded to approve Commonwealth's role in expediting and doing all the grant and planning work for $369,000. Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved.
All right, thank you.
Okay, the next item on old business is zoning map. So I think I mentioned a couple meetings ago that we were going to be redoing the zoning ordinances to update them from whatever the last revision was in 1981 or originally in the 70s, and there was a couple small updates in the early 80s, but we're having a company redo those for us, and we had one meeting and they're supposed to kind of give us some stuff. Anyway, we had one meeting about it and it's supposed to maybe conclude around January. That's the anticipation anyway. Anything to add on that, guys?
Sometime in November, there'll be the public presentation.
All right. Yeah, they're shooting for November 20th.
I think it's on our announcements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're shooting for November 20th for a public hearing on it. That could change though, depending on how our schedule works out through then. If everything goes according to plan, that's about when it'll be. Jessica Heater for Community Club asked about the rides in the carnival and so forth.
Yes, hi. Hello. So I did speak with the carnival, and he's actually giving me the price. It's a lot more expensive than what it was for Rossville because it's a longer period. However, in the long run, when you look at it and you break down how much you're paying per day, it's actually cheaper for us than it was for them because then it's $10,000 and they were there for 3 days. Up here, they're here for 6 days. And they want $15,000 to sign to come. So that's $2,500 a day. So it really looks like it's better in the long run for us. I still have very high hopes for them coming. I think it's gonna happen. I do, hopefully am able to get some edit funds to help pay for this. One thing that I'm going to ask is, I know that I've asked you guys a lot to help me, figure out how we're gonna house these guys in the park and the electricity and how we're gonna make that happen. The only other thing that I can ask you to help me do is talk this up so that we can get the sponsorship money, because if I don't get edit funds, we have to come up with some other way of sponsoring this to get it here. It's quite a bit of chunk of change for whether it be the town or whether it be the community club. So the more publicity and the more we can get this going, because we know that everybody wants it to come. Maybe it will help us bring funds in when it comes time for us to do sponsorship. So if I could ask you guys to maybe help me with the word of mouth, I would absolutely appreciate it. The other thing that I would like to ask you guys about, I know that it's not in this, but next year is the 250th anniversary of our country. And we are thinking about doing something, but we don't want to step on your guys' toes if you guys are planning on doing something. Or if you would like help with something. So we're just trying to gauge, are you guys thinking about that? Is it something you would want help with? Because if you're planning on doing some big things like music, you kind of want to start looking at that now. Because a lot of big places are already booked up. And I'm not talking like $15,000, $20,000 bands. I'm talking like the $3,000 and $4,000 bands. They're already booked up for next summer. The cheap ones. So, I ask, are you guys planning on doing something? Do you want to do something?
I haven't thought it
Yeah.
myself. I haven't thought it.
Right. I know, it's normally the
I
last
didn't
thing
do the
you're
math. Be like, yeah, you're right. Yeah. So.
Right? And I think is it the sesquicentennial? Is that how it's pronounced, or am I wrong?
For the town that we did it.
Yeah, well, no, for the 250.
Oh,
Like, it's
no.
$250,000, but the terminology is, yeah, I know. But no, I know it's the last thing that everybody thinks about, because it is so far away. July is such a far time from now. But it is something, if you want to make it big and you want to put it on the books, then you kind of have to start now.
Right.
It's just kind of like how we're starting with fair now, even though fair is not until again July.
Yeah, is it on a Saturday?
It was on a Saturday.
Nice.
I have a question about Carnival Reds.
Sure.
So this is the Carroll County Fair, not the Florida Fair. Does not all the little counties try to pitch in for something like this, or?
So what I will do is in January, I will send a letter out to any and every business that I can get a address for, not just in this town.
Right.
A lot of the time, what has happened in the past is it has been mostly Florida-based businesses that have funded a lot of the Carroll County Fair. Last year was the first year that we reached out for edit funds, and they did give us a very small amount. In my eyes, it was a decent chunk. It was $3,500. I'm hoping for more this year, but you also have to convince them that it's worth it for them to give that money. That money's there to help the community, but you have to make them see that. Sometimes that can be a little hard to do. But this past year, we were so blessed in getting the amount of money that we got. We got more from outside. We even got places in Tippecanoe County give us money. I believe Sam's Club, they sponsored, and I've been trying to contact the hospitals too, because I know here in our county, I don't live in this county, but we go to Lafayette, we go to the hospitals there. We would think that they would want to support all of their places.
Right.
And there's a Franciscan, the health clinic in Delphi, they're not necessarily tied in with the hospital, I don't think, but it's still a Franciscan company. So they do sponsor every year too, and then they also come and they do their own thing at the fair with us. But it's just kind of up in the air whether it's.
I was mainly questioning the towns themselves that try to pitch in for the community, for Carroll County Fair.
I have never seen the.
I think the Carroll County, I see your point, but the Carroll County Fair part of it is mainly 4-H.
Yes.
And the 4-H buildings and all that stuff, and we really don't pay for any of that stuff.
Okay.
But as far as what goes along with it, I think it's kind of up to us, or always has been in the past.
And it's split between two different entities. You have the 4-H side, and then you have what we call the community club side.
Okay.
And it's kind of down the road. One side of the road is one side of the road is the other, unless it's junior leaders because they cook on the other side of the road and because so it's just kind of whatever. And there's a fine line. I learned that there's actually a bathroom behind the grandstands. I didn't know that, but apparently there is. I've heard it's not a very nice building, but for it, that is something that the county is in charge of fixing, from what I understand. So it's difficult.
Thank you.
Yes,
So you're looking for sponsors to help fund bringing carnival rides to the county fair?
yes.
So have you reached out to local businesses in Carroll County?
We will reach out in January. We will send a letter out to every business that we have an address for.
Yeah, because if you look at all the businesses that are in the back of like the t-shirt for Hog Jog or for the Delphi Dash or anything, all those businesses, you'll see like a tiny little square. They all gave like $100 to be on that. So I think that most of those businesses would be willing to help fund the carnival if you can make like a plaque that says, "But this carnival is brought to you by,"
Oh,
and then every little business that.
Yes, which is what we do for the fair. This year alone, we had 3 different banners, and we have, like our top sponsors, we made them a little bit of a bigger banner because obviously they gave a little more money. And then our smaller sponsors, we also did put them on another banner too. Maybe it was on its own banner. I did not create the banners. Madison created those. She did great. They were beautiful. And I know that they're still floating around. But everybody gets put on there because we want that business's recognition. We even made t-shirts for everybody and we walked around with them all. I mean, y'all got one. I know you did. And they all look so beautiful in them too.
Oh. I love the color. The color.
They were gorgeous. They absolutely were. But we really do try to make it, for the businesses that are helping. We don't want to be like, oh, thanks, we're going to stick it in our pocket and we're going to be done. No, I want them to know that they are absolutely helping me out because you can't do this alone. The fair is the absolute biggest thing that we do. And without anybody else's help, it's just going to falter. And we don't want that. I definitely don't because fair's fun. I remember when I was a kid, I went through it, so.
And one more thing, I looked it up, it is called, the 250th anniversary is called Semi-Quincentennial.
Oh.
See?
Okay.
Also, we've got a few experiments too.
Do that, sorry.
You Googled it too?
Oh, yeah, we do that too.
Yeah,
A lot of social media. So,
And the bicentennial and
that's all I have.
Thank you for that
Thank you, Jessica.
information.
Thank you. You guys have a great night.
All right, let's move into new business. And James is not here tonight.
Not yet,
You still plan on coming?
as far as I know.
But she said that he had to present at, Shannon's
Yeah.
email said he had to present at 6 at Delphi, then he was coming here.
So he'll be here.
Thank you.
Okay, Baker Tilly tracking factor for the fourth quarter. Based on the calculation, the tracking factor for the fourth quarter will be 0.009630 and represents an overall decrease of 0.003358. And we have to approve that whenever the tracking factor comes quarterly for the IMPA, Indiana Municipal Power Association bills.
make a motion to approve the new tracking factor at 0.009630.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded that we approve that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approved.
What's the next gentleman?
He's not.
I don't know.
Robert Bishop, are you present?
Okay.
Okay, we have a Vector. Oh, Randy's looking at a new Vector truck. We had one, we still have one, but it doesn't work. And we have been fortunate enough with this too, to be able to get a READY grant to pay for things that are associated with the wastewater plant. And this Vector truck has become a big deal for the town because we use it for electric and sucking and digging. There's so many things in the ground now, it's hard to use a backhoe and be accurate. Anyway, we need this truck, and that was part of this grant that we had specified that we did get. So Randy's looking for a new Vector truck, and the cost of it's $529,000, $529,628.19, so a little over $500,000. It sounds like a lot of money, but that's what they all run, and Some of them are more than that.
Used ones running about 300,000 plus.
Yeah, and the good thing is we get reimbursed for it, so.
Have you checked the EcoStructure or TSW?
He's checked with quite a few places, I think. Haven't you, Randy?
Yeah, probably got
Jeff Brooks,
10 or 12 different quotes from all around.
did you get one from Jeff Brooks?
Yeah, so,
Jeff's a pretty good guy. I mean,
People.
but anyway, we have one, we have one selected that Randy would like to purchase. And,
What's the, oh, sorry.
go ahead.
How soon can we get this one that we're looking at?
As soon as I call him and have him start it towards Indiana. Right now it's in Colorado at another one of their locations.
Okay, so it's not like something we have to wait 6 months for
No.
or anything
You know,
like
they
that?
have it on the ground.
And Trevor, we did basically a $2,500 discount on it because we don't have to pay Hoosier back to do that hole.
Right.
When it
And
gets
we
there.
actually have a water leak right now at the apartments out on West Columbia too. So, and we kind of need it for there. There's a bunch of stuff in that area. So
I've actually got about 5 projects that seem to be.
I've just been waiting.
Yeah.
Want the hell out of it.
If anyone doesn't know what it is, this is what it is.
No,
And
not that one.
That not,
It looks like that.
That looks kind of.
yeah, they look like the
that's
big.
with the paperwork.
I'd like to make a motion that we purchase the Vector truck for $529,628.19.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded that we purchase that. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Long day work.
Donald Hughes.
It's actually David Hughes.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
David?
I live at 216 West Glen, and for the last 5 years, I've been dealing with every 6 to 9 months sewage backing up in my basement. I finally got a loan to try to run my own line and get off the shared line with my neighbor and their neighbors. And I'm trying to do what I can to get that ran, but I keep getting issues. I just
You're the
want-
homeowner, right?
Yes, I'm the homeowner. I just want to know what can I do to get permission to tie into the main line, the main sewer line right in front of my house, instead of going half the block down and tying into the one on the street, that street.
Randy, could you fill us in on this?
I myself nor Bill have never said that you couldn't. What the last thing was the manhole being installed. We just don't want to have another manhole installed that we have to
Okay.
take ownership of. Other than that, you've never not had permission to reroute your sewer lateral.
Okay.
So we tie into the other manhole structure.
If you want to go that far,
Well, it's not.
come out the house
What
like
other
you are
options
and
do
go
I
straight-
have?
come
Just
out
touch
like
right
how
in.
it is and come straight to the road and tie in.
I'm allowed to tie in right there?
It's the main sewer line, you tie in.
Randy just has to approve how you tie it in,
Okay.
but it can be tied in where you're wanting to take it, right, Randy?
Okay.
So you guys have a drop or something that you gotta put in, a
No,
inside
it's-
drop?
It's
like that?
all homeowners' responsibility.
Well, I'm
for
talking about
bouncing
inside the manhole, you got a special.
Are you gonna go all the way back towards the manhole? Or you
Yeah,
wanna
we're
come
gonna
straight
set
to the
another
road?
structure in his yard
Okay,
where we can make that easy bend.
then yeah, we'll definitely wanna drop in the manhole.
Okay, all right, so you want an inside drop where it goes all the way to the bottom where it's not hitting the bottom.
Need a
So
permit.
what about, the other ones in there, the other people that's,
Once they get dug up and capped off and I see that it's clay, then I have to send letters out to them stating that I have seen the sewer lateral with my own eyes, that it's unacceptable material, and they're going to have to upgrade from that point.
Okay.
And we've only seen, unless you cambered more without me there, we've only seen one of them that's tied in.
well,
And the other
The
one-
other one's blocked by a tree that
Yeah.
collapsed the line, so.
That's why we don't know. There's only gonna be 3 houses.
we're not really for sure about the one on the south, but I'm just in my heart, I'm pretty sure it's the 1, 2, 3.
Right.
You know, it's tied in.
So David, you coming here tonight, did we answer
So
your
as long as
question?
I can get tied in somewhere, I'm just tired of dealing with this mess.
So work with Randy and figure out, but yeah, thanks for coming and, trying to
Yeah,
do what's right. So appreciate that.
So I think we've given you your answer, and
okay,
if that, then like Rob said, just continue on with Randy on what you have to do to hook in and where.
We will have to confirm it, but since you're upgrading your system, which in the long run helps us out in the same time, the permit is waived, but you still have to get the
Yep.
permit.
okay.
Before you start.
Yeah, the fee is waived. so.
Right, correct.
Does that do it for you, David?
I hope so.
All right. That's all new business? Okay, we'll start with some reports then. Police department?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
James obviously couldn't be here tonight. He was coming on. So the month of September, there was 10 citations, 57 warnings, 111 calls for services, and 3 accidents. We're also getting ready to switch over to the RMS. I know James is coming to you, but we may have some statistical information that we have to figure out.
And that's what everybody's going to?
Yeah, Wayne County will be going to. From what I've seen, it's a pretty good system, much better than we have now.
And then our newest addition to the force.
Yeah, he's projected to graduate December 19th, so he's on track right now. As long as nothing unforeseen happens, we'll get him back after that. So hopefully that will be just normal coverage. So
It's been a long time coming.
it seems like about 2 years.
Any questions for Mark?
Thank you.
Thanks. Tyler, fire department?
Good evening.
Hello.
And over at the fire station, we had 19 calls for service. 9 of them fire or accident related and 10 of them were medical calls. And we're kind of, as a group, kind of continually working, make sure we're ready to go for November 22nd. Thing. Hopefully it goes off without a hitch. But we're gonna try to be, I'm thinking I'm gonna call for the wastewater, but so I'll be in town that night anyway, so that'll be fine. Yeah, we'll be fine. Other than that, we got our 2 truck radiators replaced and we managed to get those down at Hefty's for under $1,000 for both of them. So we're, shouldn't be freezing any trucks up this winter. So other than that, we're keeping, trying to keep rolling here.
Great.
That's all I've got.
Thank you.
Thanks. The planning commission, two permits were issued in September. Jeremiah Poole for a shed and Drew Ayers for a garage. Park department, anybody have anything for the park?
You should have a paper in here.
What is it?
Green paper right there.
Okay, there's been a new fence installed up at the park that we approved a couple months ago. Just kind of separating off the main entrance from the highway and the soccer area. We had ropes up there for years and posts that were kind of leaning over, and it really cleaned it up. Looks nice. You guys have seen it?
Yeah, it does.
It does look nice. It looks really nice.
Yeah. Lori walks up there a lot.
Yeah. I see it.
And the police officers.
Looks nice.
Slit seating has been done, and Scott has been watering it with the golf cart water tank since we haven't been getting any rain. Starting with the leaf pickup in the park anytime now. Starting to put up picnic tables. Mowing slowed down. Dry, dry, dry. That's what he put on his paper. Okay, that was the park. And airport.
I'll do the second one first. We did have our annual NDOT inspection on September 19th, and we passed with flying colors. Thanks to utility guys for getting lights taken care of for us. And of course, everybody knows we had a little bit of excitement for one of our planes. But it's back in the hangar.
So that was one of the floor planes?
One of the
Okay.
four, yeah. So it's actually a plane that's been out there for a number of years, but it's got a new one.
Okay.
But he came through without issues, and plane's got issues, but looking at it, I think it'll be back in the air. So
Okay, good.
other than that, everything's going well.
Thanks, Jack.
Utilities.
Alright, for street, we've been doing brush, leaf season, we're gonna start tomorrow if the weather holds up. I know it has a chance of rain, but if it doesn't rain too bad, we'll start tomorrow. So everybody can start getting their piles out. We've been working on the alleyways here recently. Been taking care of all the weeds downtown. I mean, they've been crazy this year. Another thing, we replaced 41 trash cans for waste management this month. And
And why is that? I mean, what's happening to them? Lid breaking?
everything. They crack in half, or they have the wheels come off, the lid breaks off. It's but one thing that I guess we kind of have a problem with, not that we can't do it, it's just that we have to go and replace them all for them. I mean, we feel that should be their job since we're paying them $300,000 for the job, and then we're out there replacing all the trash cans for them. Like just the other day, there's 21 trash cans I had to go to the apartments out in Westwood, and they dropped them off at our shop, and we had to go take them all out there. It's like, why couldn't you just have taken them out? And, I mean, we can do it, it's fine, but also we have other things we can do too. So that's just a thing, I guess.
Why don't you just ask them the next time that, I just ask them to go ahead and do it themselves.
Okay.
I didn't know they asked you all the time. I knew you'd replace some of them, but I don't think you should be doing it either.
Right. I mean, if it was one here, there, 5 here, there, that's different, but it's a lot. I mean, it's every week we're doing like 15. I mean, it's crazy. So there's that. And then water department, locates keep us busy. Had 5 water leaks, 47 calls for service. This week we're starting to flush hydrants, so if anybody gets any kind of brown water, just run it through your system until it clears up, because it may stir up a little bit of debris in the line. Shouldn't be anything dangerous, so just if anything happens with brown water, just flush out until it goes away. For electric department, we had 118 calls for service, 5 power outages, changed 3 poles, fixed 31 street lights. We started painting poles again. And then we've been trimming the trees for bus routes too. So we're almost getting to the point when the leaves are off, we're gonna start cutting a lot more trees, doing a lot of the trimming. So anybody that's been on the list for that is coming up. And then,
do you still have the one that is at the corner of the park, that's hanging over the fence on your left?
yep, it's on the list. Little League, they had us move the poles. They're building the overhangs for the bleachers and doing the new dugouts. So we had to take 2 of the poles from the fence. We had to move them back and then rewire everything. So that was a little bit of a project. Other than that, we have a new position open for a general labor position. And I forget the exact date that it's done, but it's
The 17th.
October 17th.
is the last.
So if anybody wants to put an application, October 17th, you need to have it in at the town office here. And if you need an application, you can come to the town office to get one. And then, I guess one other thing, Tyler, we're still putting a generator at the senior center, right, for power outage? Okay. Another thing, do we want to, because I know I've seen a lot of people saying about CPAP machines or having it. Do we want to offer the office, since it has a generator, for a place for people to come if they have issues? Or I know the senior center is gonna be one.
The fire department, or
Right, so I didn't know if we were gonna do anything
Better.
for,
would this be better?
Comfortable wise, this would probably be better.
Yeah.
We'll have the senior center open as well,
right.
so we'll have
So
people.
maybe
walking
think
there.
future, I mean, I know we got a little bit of time still, but we can think about what we wanna do for that, cause I know people have been worrying about that. I know it's gonna just be during the night, but some people, it's a big deal for them, so.
Mhm.
And we've done what we can to make it as short as possible, but
Right.
Yeah, so for those of you who
It's
don't
not in our
know,
hands.
with the power, originally, they wanted how long to be able to?
they wanna go 3 days without power for the town.
Yeah.
So we talked with Duke and we got it down to where it's 10 hours at the max. So I think they're gonna try to do it faster than that. I think 10 hours is the safety net, but it's supposed to be from 10 PM on the 22nd until 8 AM on the 23rd, which will be a Saturday night going into a Sunday. So hopefully everybody will sleep through it, but I mean, I know not everybody will, but hopefully it'll be as painless as possible.
I hope your food is maintained.
Just set it outside on the porch if you.
No snacking, leave your fridge closed.
But yeah, that's all I have. Unless you got any questions.
I know a couple times back, we talked about the doors on the merchant building. Have you guys had a chance to look at those or anything?
We looked at it with Rayville. Did he ever get back with anybody on how much it was gonna cost? Cause I know we talked with him about, or he came to look at them, cause I
The
was.
ones on that end, they're talking about the ones on this end, on the east end,
East end underneath the
that
overhang.
are chained.
Okay.
The ones
I
on
mean,
the
it's the
east end.
same, yeah, it's the same thing. I know we met with Grayville up there, it's been a while.
I know you met
Which
the
one,
ones on
Nelson
the
or
west end.
Wyland or who?
It was wild.
Okay.
Yeah, and I thought that he was supposed to get a quote together, so I can maybe get with him and see what he's found.
Yeah, but I think mainly it's for the latching, being able to secure
okay.
them and everything. Because right now it's just a chain
holder.
ran through and everything.
Okay.
And so we're just trying to, look at what our other options would be to get those secure so people can pull them out and get through.
Oh, okay, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, just if you would take a look at that and see
Okay.
how we can better secure them.
Okay. And then for
For
crack seal, I reached out to people that I've gotten quotes from before. They said they're okay. We would have to sign like a letter saying that we are wanting to work with them, I guess. So I can give you prices again and see what you guys think about that. And then we can move forward with that.
We'd have to do what? Sign a letter saying,
I forget exactly how they worded it, but they told me how much it would be per pallet.
oh,
And they were
okay, I
wanting to
see.
say that, hey, yeah, we want this many pallets used, and then they would come through and do it. So I don't know if you want me to have come through and go through the updated list and say how much you think this will take, or do we just want to say, hey, we'll do this many pallets, and then you just
Well,
go what you can.
let's ask these guys.
Okay.
I mean, right, so, we can put this in the community crossroads. But since it's not due, that grant for community crossroads, the ceiling can go in that. But since they're not due until October, this year, then by the time they award them, I don't know if we want to do it in December and winter will be here. I was kind of wanting to get it done before winter. But we could have it done for next winter and do it sometime in, February or whenever our crossroads stuff happens. Or we go ahead and pay for it now, but the crossroads is a 20% match if you think we can wait. That's 80% off of what we're gonna be spending. So I don't know whether to go, and I think Trevor and I talked about just kind of doing Center Street and a couple others,
Not doing the whole.
especially not doing anything that we were gonna repay.
Right.
So think about that and we'll have to get you an answer, I guess.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I can send numbers to you guys so you can see exactly what it would be per pallet or whatever. And then we can move from there, I guess.
Good.
Okay,
Thanks.
yeah.
Wastewater, Randy?
Okay.
We had, replaced the sewer, or not replaced, but done a spot fix on sewer line that was SDR 35. It was probably auger while they were set full. As Rachel had mentioned, we did try for multiple days to try and drain down the east aeration tank so the contractors could get in there to work. With the possibility of work on the 4H side of the bathroom, they were trying to locate all the lines, and we've had a manhole back there for years with all the grindings and everything that 4H put back there. It was kind of lost in action. So Tyler and I spent about 2 days off and on up there looking for it. Different metal detector.
Did you find it?
Yes, we found it.
Okay.
So, I had to submit new NPDS permit every 5 years, so we got that back. They were gonna move us to a class 3 and consider it a major facility with the project update.
You said were.
I like that. Talks with Rachel, they are going to leave us as a class 2. We are gonna stay a major facility though, given that we're gonna be up in the 1 million gallons per day to be able to keep the plant. Potential.
I thought we were trying to keep it at like 990 to keep it under the millions. What your guy said at the meetings early.
We can check. Is that what it's rated for?
He was gonna
Is
keep
it
it
at
up.
point,
he
is
was gonna-
it over 1 or did the permit get under 1?
As far as I know, we're right at 1.
It was supposed
We
to
can
be,
check and see if it's at 0.99.
it was supposed to be just under 1 for that very reason.
I think the only big difference the major has is the phosphorus testing, and there was one other testing.
So there's gonna be phosphorus, mercury, and
Mercury.
toxicity.
Yeah. And the phosphorus, I don't think we can get away from even if you're not a major.
Right.
So it's just a couple of extra tests. But I'll check what the design.
That's just what I
was.
remember.
Yeah.
You guys remember
And also-
that conversation earlier?
With talking with a couple of different class 3s, like I spoke with Dick Van Sickle over at Delphi, and he said with the mercury, and Rachel even said with the mercury, after a year, 2 years, if we're showing no levels, which I don't think that we will be, they would probably knock that off the permit and would no longer have to test for that.
So you're saying even if it is rated at 1 million, you're still okay with it, with the extra testing that you'll have to do?
It mainly, it's, what we were worried the most about was with the class 3, we were gonna have to do CBOD, ammonia, phosphorus, TSS, 5 days a week. So with the CBOD, we would have to run those on Saturday and Sunday as well, which we all know that we're only there for about 2 hours to run checks, make sure everything's working properly, do a little bit of cleanup, and then we're out.
And neither of the 3 operators down there are class 3
Correct.
certified as well, so we would have to go through that process.
Which was the big thing.
Yeah.
To me, when I saw it.
Typically, when something like that happens, the state would give me a, how do I word that?
Honorary.
Provisionary license.
Yeah, until you got.
And then they would say at a certain time, then I would have to take my class and pass the test and be, let's
It should.
not go that
Yeah, I'd
route.
rather, I wouldn't mind being a class 3, but on my own terms, not being pushed into it.
It should be able to stay at a 2. I'll look into the 0.99 and see if that one. Because they haven't sent the revised version. Okay.
Other than that, our monthly maintenance, keeping everything up and running, swing with the front punches that Sean gives us. We had a plant influent of 5,260,000 and a plant effluent of 4,402,000, which is the lowest that I've seen those numbers, thanks to our drought that we're in.
Yeah, if they weren't low right now, we'd have a problem.
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, I'm thankful for it right now. I know some aren't, but I'll take it at the moment.
So, one thing you didn't hit, what you have on your list here is, you picked up your new truck,
Yes,
so new pickup truck and everything.
we gotta pick that up. We'll get plenty of work tools on there, and we have utilized that multiple times out in the field already. So it's been a blessing to be able to have that truck with you.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you.
Hey, you're the last item, you're up. This is James Wells from the Carroll County Economic Development. the new guy.
Yes. Do you have a copy of the report? Okay, perfect. So I'll go ahead and get to it, since I'm probably in the only thing between getting out and dinner, so you're fine. All right, well, good evening, Mr. President and members of the Town Council. Thank you for this opportunity to provide this annual update on behalf of the Carroll County Economic Development Corporation. It is an honor to share how our ongoing partnership is continuing to strengthen the town of Florida's economy, enhance its infrastructure, and improve its quality of life for its residents. Now, over the past several years, the Carroll County EDC has worked closely with Florida's leadership and regional partners to advance projects that position this community for long-term success. Our joint efforts have focused on expanding healthcare access, improving childcare capacity, investing in infrastructure and housing, supporting local businesses, and ensuring Florida remains an active and vital part of Carroll County's regional growth strategy. First, I want to touch on healthcare access. For access to local, high-quality healthcare, it continues to be a key priority for Florida and Carroll County. Since 2021, we have engaged regional hospital networks and maintained partnerships with the Carroll County Family Health Clinics and local physicians to strengthen access to urgent care services. Now, although our most recent grant application was not selected, we remain committed to pursuing new funding opportunities to expand healthcare options for Florida and the surrounding communities. Next, under child care and family support, Florida continues to lead the way in addressing one of our region's most pressing challenges, affordable, high-quality child care. The Children's Guardian Child Care Center received $500,000 through the Lilly Endowment and Ready 2.0 funds. This helped create 68 new child care seats. The center is now working towards achieving a level 4 pass to quality certification, which represents the state's highest standard for early learning environments. In addition, $45,000 in new grant funding was awarded to Florida-based child care providers, furthering supporting local families and educators. The Early Learning Alliance of Carroll County also continues to play a role in this work by organizing community training, events, and provide development programs to strengthen early child care education across the county. Next, for infrastructure and housing development. Infrastructure and housing remain essential to Florida's growth and competitiveness. The Carriage Estates housing development is moving forward with the ready award of $2.5 million, which is currently in process. This project represents a $12.8 million total investment with nearly 28 and will deliver 28 new single-family homes to meet local workforce and family housing needs. Additionally, the town continues to advance infrastructure improvements, including upgrades to the Florida wastewater treatment plant. This by ensuring Florida remains well-positioned for future residential and industrial growth. For business retention and expansion, we continue to support existing employers who are fundamental for our own mission with Carroll County EDC. We continue to work with DK and the Sycamore Industrial Park to support their business growth, job retention, and long-term competitiveness. Maintaining and expanding Florida's industrial base is a top priority as we prepare for new regional economic opportunities. For broadband expansion, we know that reliable broadband access is vital to economic development and modern living. So the Carroll County EDC continues its partnership with Mulberry Communications to expand fiber connectivity throughout Florida, supporting residents, small businesses, and remote workers. This investment in digital infrastructure ensures that Florida remains competitive and connected in today's economy. Next, leadership and collaboration. We know that leadership development is another cornerstone of Florida's progress. So through the Leadership Carroll County program, we continue to train civic-minded leaders who are ready to take on future challenges with cohorts that were completed in 2022 to 2023 and 2024 to 2025, with planning underway for the 2026 to 2027 cohort. We are also proud to partner with the Carroll Consolidated School Corporation, the Flora Community Club, the Carroll County Chamber of Commerce, and Purdue University, among others, to align local and regional development efforts. For agricultural and strategic planning, we know that agriculture remains a key pillar for Carroll County's economy. So in partnership with Curbsy, we are continuing to strengthen our local agricultural network through food system development, workforce training, and facility improvements. Plans are underway to upgrade the Carroll County 4-H Community Center kitchen into a commercial grade facility, supporting local food producers and value-added cultural ventures. At the same time, the Carroll County EDC is preparing to release a new 5-year strategic plan in the later part of 2025, which will be a roadmap to guide the county's next phase of economic and community development activity. For our regional growth, we know that Flora plays an important role in several regional initiatives shaping Carroll County's future. Through the Central Wabash Valley Regional Growth Plan, Flora is helping to position the county to benefit from the SK Hynix Semiconductor project, aligning the infrastructure, the workforce, and housing strategies with regional growth opportunities. Flora is also part of the Ready 2.0 Arts and Cultural Plan, which spans 7 counties and focuses on strengthening creative economies and investing in the cultural assets that make our communities more vibrant and attractive. Finally, we continue to advance a county-wide transportation initiative in partnership with Purdue University, the Enterprise Van Pool Program, and regional stakeholders. This effort aims to connect more residents, including those in Flora, to employment centers throughout Carroll and Tippecanoe counties to help address workforce mobility and access to opportunity. So in closing, I want to thank the town of Flora for its continued partnership and its leadership. The progress we see today in housing, childcare, infrastructure, and business growth is the result of strong collaboration and a shared vision for the community's future. And on behalf of the Carroll County Economic Development Corporation, we remain committed to supporting Flora's growth and ensuring this community continues to thrive as a vital part of Carroll County's success. And with that, I'll take any questions you may have. I know that was quite a bit.
No, it's good information.
Yeah.
I did while you're speaking, I wanted to recognize Lori Brower and Joe for being on the board. And we also have Brett Reinhardt as another representative. So thank you guys for doing that. Any other questions for
No, it's
James?
good information. I appreciate everything. You know, you bringing all this. I mean, we see things, we know things, but we don't recognize it a lot of times. So thank you.
I guess one question I would have that I think I already know the answer to, maybe. You haven't heard anything in addition on the 2.0 money, have you? Since we met the last time?
Other than we're trying to ensure with the region to hit under the Ready 1.0 funding and hit its spend rate. Currently is at 64% spend rate for the region. Hopefully by the end of sometime this month, with I believe there are pending receipts amongst other projects throughout the region that will get us to 65. That will unlock a number of funding for the 2.0 funds that have been allocated for a number of projects.
So you think it's the Ready 1 is getting close to the percentage?
Yeah, oh, certainly, yeah.
Okay.
That's been one of the things I've also been pressing the region on since it started. So,
other questions? Okay, thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you, Mr.
Sorry you had to
Council.
rush.
No worries, sure. I make sure to rush within the speed limit.
All right, so in closing, then we have some announcements. Town office is going to be closed Monday, October 13th for Columbus Day. Trick or treat night will be on Halloween, Friday, October 31st, 6 to 8 p.m. Next town council meeting Monday, November 3rd. There'll be possibly a special town council public hearing for the zoning thing we talked about earlier. We'll keep you updated on that, but we know that the schedule's on track. And we've also talked about the Duke Energy cutting the power on November 22nd from 10 p.m. until 8 a.m. the next day. And we'll keep working on keeping everybody updated for that, so as many people are aware. I think a lot of people are aware of it, but probably not everyone. And any other announcements? Announcements? Okay.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
May I- may I?
Other
This is a tie. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jim.
I'm Dale Seward. The Lieutenant Governor's office has contacted me to try and put together a mobile office visit. And I steered him to Flora with your approval that they want to use the town facilities here, Town Hall. It's October 28th, 11 to 2. That may change, but right now it's October the 28th, 11 to 2 p.m. And Lieutenant Governor will probably not be here himself. It'll probably be a staff representative or representatives. But I talked to Pam and she said it would need to come before the board. So that's what I'm asking for right now, to let them know whether they can feel free to come or not.
Building's open, isn't it? I mean, I think it's fine.
Is that okay?
Pam said there's nothing on the schedule for that day, so.
Okay.
Just
All
let
right.
me know what you need.
What's that?
Just let me know what you need.
Okay. I don't think they need anything major, but
Space wise, room wise.
okay, this would probably do it. So, okay, thank you very much.
Right?
What do you got for me?
What's that?
What do you have for me?
What-
At our last meeting, you stated you were gonna look into the questions that had not been answered, or the request for information that had not been fulfilled.
Yeah, I think the conclusion was that we probably had answered all the questions you had asked.
I actually asked you a question in the meeting, and you looked at each other and said, no, you did not have that question. And that you were gonna get back to, I'm still waiting.
Okay. What's the question again?
I couldn't find anything else. I couldn't find anything else that wasn't answered. So what is it that you need?
I can ask you all the questions too. I'm prepared for that.
Oh, I don't think we want you to ask all the questions in the meeting here. The-
Well, I've been asking these questions or requesting this information since April, and I've literally provided it to you every way that you've asked me to provide it. I tried to ask questions.
So what's the,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
what's the, I mean, I know that, let's see if I can word this correctly. I'm not sure what the point of all this is. What are you trying to achieve with this? Is there something, or you're just going from question to question, trying to pick things apart? Is there something we can help you with? Or are you just, I don't know what.
I'm asking for public information here. I don't think it matters why I won or why I'm asking for it.
Well, isn't it okay that I ask you
It's
why?
public information that I would like to have the information provided. Yes, you can ask me. I don't have to tell you.
No.
But we felt that we've answered all of your questions. And that's where we're confused in the sense that you ask a question, we provide an answer, then you come back with another question that is tangential or doesn't really coincide with the answer that we provided. And so, but we feel we've answered every question.
So I'm still waiting to be in receipt of the July town council meeting, the archive,
The recording.
the recording.
Correct. I'm still working on that. You're welcome to come to the office and listen to the recording. I just can't get it transferred.
Okay, we pay an IT for $820 a month. We have a separate IT guy that we pay part-time. We don't have the July archive figured out yet?
No, I do not.
Is that one of your questions?
It's been one of my questions, yes.
So do we need to, since, and I'm not saying this in a negative way, but with all the correspondence and all the questions that you've asked, I think we've lost track of where we're at with what we've answered and what we haven't. We feel like we've answered them, and you keep saying, well, they're all right here. Well, maybe you need to get them to us again in a concise list and say, these are the 10 questions I'm waiting on to be answered. And according to you, you can submit them however you want to.
No, that's not what I said.
No, you're just saying that we're not allowed to specify how we get them. We were trying to clean it up to make it as clean
I
as
did not
possible.
specify that. I asked, I said, do I understand this correctly, is what I said. Would you like me to read it?
No, it's not necessary.
But you're stating what I said to be inappropriate. It's not that inappropriate.
You said according to Indiana law, you're not allowed to tell me how to submit a question. So I'm telling you, you can submit them however you want to. Because if that's against Indiana law, then let's submit them however you like.
It's in kind of law, but you say so. The last, I can't remember, we were corresponding. Pam said, you guys said you wanted it in electronic, or you wanted me to fill the form out and send it back to you electronic.
Was Brian on the agenda tonight?
No.
Do I need to be? When you told me we had previous business and you were gonna get back to me on that?
Yeah, you need to be on the, anytime you speak, you need to be on the agenda.
So is that, so how does that work when you tell me that you're gonna get back to me with something and I have not heard anything? Do I need to go submit a form to be on the agenda to remind you that you owe me something?
No, I wouldn't go that far. I'm
So
just
I guess I
saying,
don't need to be on the agenda.
you're supposed to be on the agenda, but if you're asking one question and you say, do you have an answer for me? And I say, no, we don't. But you need to be on the agenda if you're gonna take up 10 minutes of time or 15 minutes of time, is what I'm saying.
Okay, so that's my fault that I didn't put myself on the agenda when you said last month multiple times.
This is probably the reason you don't get answers to your questions, Brian. You just walk and talk in circles.
Is that what I'm doing?
It feels like it to me. I guess the
Well, I
answer,
hear, hold on, over here, so apparently, you gave me a scanned form. It's scanned in
What difference does that make?
because I can't send it back to you electronically.
It's a PDF, yes, you can. You
It's
can fill
in a-
it in and send it back to me.
Fill it in, how would you like me to do that? Please walk me through the
Do
process.
you know how to do a PDF? You
It's
enable the editing. No, it's not. Enable the editing and there's a little box that has a T in it for text. And then you just click in the area that you want
I'm
to.
gonna pull it up, you can show me.
Okay, that's great.
I don't think
I don't
we
know
need
that I have time
take
for
the
that
time.
tonight, but,
during the meeting for that.
okay.
so if I haven't answered, or if I didn't get back to you and say, I mean, what I found out is we feel like we've answered all the questions. So if you would like something else, public record wise, that we're not giving you, and we don't know what the list is, give it to us again.
I'll give it to you multiple times.
Okay, can you condense it all down to one thing so we can follow it? I mean, maybe we're not,
I will get it to you in a form that you will not be able to mistake, and I promise.
great. Anything on the matter, guys? I don't know why you do this, Brian.
Do what, Daryl? Ask you for information?
Okay, motion to adjourn.
You asked the question, you don't, I respond.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn tonight's meeting.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we adjourn tonight's meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion adjourned.
Lip service. Once again.
Brian, I'm just not sure what you're after.
Is he using for it? Is he using
Yeah, I was training them. I gave them mine. I got
Are you okay? Okay, I can do that. Just end. Boom. Well.